It is officially panic time for the New York Mets. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bad for Baseball. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog, joined alongside by Adam Peddle. New York Mets, they were rolling for a long period of this season. Hey, Juan Soto just got to 30-30. That's something. Didn't expect that to happen. But whilst all of this exciting stuff is going down, we forgot to look at the most important thing, which is, are you going to make the postseason or not? As it stands today, they are still in a postseason spot, but damn, dude, things are starting to get tight over there for those New York Mets. We're going to talk about that and then what they need to do if they want to hold on to that spot. But yeah, I mean, 76 and 69 for a team that has what, like $350 million on the payroll? Like, that's kind of wild.
And again, it just goes to show like how weak the entire MLB this year when you got a playoff team that's literally only 7 games above 500 and it's September. That's craziness. But yeah, they're right there in the final wild card spot. They've been dropping a lot of games. They're 3-7 over the last 10. They have a negative 500 in September. They've lost 4 in a row. And then right behind them, you have the San Francisco Giants kind of creep again. They're 2 games back. The Reds are 3 games back, but there's some momentum happening for the Giants. So obviously that's where the big concern is right now. And when you have less than 20 games left, starts to get a little microscopic. Like any one hot streak and any one cold streak can swing things for them.
Bad series from the Mets, good series from San Francisco, and bang, there we are right now. The big issue when you're looking over at those New York Mets is the fact that they are just letting up way too many runs right now, folks. Yes, they've got an electric offense. Yes, they got Soto and Alonso and all these names, but it just makes it that much more difficult for those guys when you got a team-wide ERA of 5.21. That's the last 15 days right now. That was not the story of this New York Mets team at the beginning of the year. I remember we were making podcasts and talking about them like 1 month, 2 months into the season, and it was like, oh shit, this New York Mets pitching staff, really turning some heads. It's like, we didn't expect it. We didn't see that coming. And then now you're kind of seeing that other shoe drop. Granted, there are some external factors as to why this is happening right now.
Yeah, like first of all, when they had the rotation back in the earlier parts of the year, like it was a bunch of guys who were bullpen dudes turned into starting pitchers. Like obviously David Peterson's been there for a while. He was turned into a starting pitcher. Clay Holmes, they turned to a starting pitcher, and he's had a pretty good year with
he's their ace, dude.
ERA.
He's literally their ace.
I know, it's crazy. And then like after that, you had Minaya and Montaz, which are okay guys, but they were doing very well. Now what you're having is a lot of injury bug going around. The starting pitchers who are injured, again, Griffin Canning, another one of those dudes where it's like, can he be anything after coming from the Angels? Tyler McGill, another bullpen guy, turned to a starting pitcher way back in the day. Christian Scott, he's injured. And then you look at that bullpen that is severely injured. Kranick, Montas, Nunez, Minter, AJ Minter, who they got to be a big force in that bullpen. Drew Smith, Danny Young, a ton of injuries, and because of that, right smack dab in the middle of this postseason race, you're throwing in 3 of your top 3 prospects, starting pitchers, to go and get the job done, and that's a little bit scary for me, Nick.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, like, I guess credit where credit is due. Very exciting that you have 3 elite top pitching prospects, because clearly that is the area of need for your team, and I can see how in the future, in a year from now, 2 years from now, maybe 3 years from now, when all these guys are up here and developed and their innings are there and they are hitting that potential, you're going to be scary ball team, because you're still going to have Juan Soto and you're still going to have Frankie Lindor, and then you're going to have this homegrown
batch of guys.
Exactly, batch of guys coming in. That's a whole rotation right there. Yeah. But right now, to throw Jonah Tong and Brandon Sprode and Nolan McLean into the fire, like, it's September 10th right now, everybody. They are in a deep postseason race, and the games that these guys are going to be starting for you, you need to pick up wins, let alone what you're even going to do if you make it to the postseason.
What are you going to do? Who's going to start? Obviously, you got Clay Holmes, David Peterson, but who's your game 3?
Like,
Sean Manaea.
I personally would not feel comfortable throwing out one of, again, and Nolan McLean, okay, yeah, he's doing great. He's doing great right now. He's pitched 31 innings. He's got an ERA of 1.42. But, like, That's a lot of pressure to be putting on an individual who's 24 years old, who is a prospect, who's coming into this team, for the first time ever. So for me, I look at this rotation right now, and I do not get instilled with a whole lot of confidence. I'm thinking that if the New York Mets want to do anything, if they want to make any noise this postseason, if they even want to make it to the postseason, it is going to require that offense to bang more than they ever have.
Yeah, and the good thing is they are banging right now. They're second in the last 15 days in OPS at 833, and like you mentioned off top, Juan Soto's a big contribution because of that. He's got the 38 home runs. He's got 30 stolen bases. He's really being a threat. Who would have thought that Juan Soto got 30 stolen bases?
Yeah, I never saw that one come. That's a wild thing right there. I'm going to jump in very quickly and just say that actually, this scares me more. This now scares me more because, what was I just saying? It's like, okay, well, the only way that they're going to win is if their offense goes and bangs. Well, their offense has been banging over the last 15, and they're still losing.
And they're still losing, so they got to bang even more. They need guys like Mark Vientos, who's been coming up, and he's been a blast in the last little bit. Then you got Pete Alonso, been a blast the last little bit, and as well as Frankie Lindor. You need them to bang, but they need to keep banging. Also, shout out to that bullpen a little bit. Their bullpen's going to need to carry the load, especially in the postseason. Like, I'm thinking about the Dodgers last year.
That might be the play.
Who didn't have a rotation, right? But then you look over here, Edwin Diaz, like, he's a solid name. Tyler Rogers, Brooks Raley, Ryan Helsley they traded for, Gregory Soto, like Ryan Stanek. Like, they actually have guys in that bullpen, even though their bullpen is severely injured. They do have guys. They're going to need to pick up the slack. So everybody but the rotation is going to need to help out these rookies.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like you got a rotation right now where there is a lot of question marks there. And yes, Clay Holmes is nice and Peterson's good, but after that, I mean, it's just who knows? So the rest of the team is going to have to pick them up. The problem for these New York Mets is that the remainder of their schedule right here, in let's face it, must-win ball games, it's going to be pretty tough. As it stands today, this is a website called Tankathon. I know that they're not tanking, but it still ranks people based off their strength of the schedule. And the New York Mets, they have them ranked as the 9th toughest strength of schedule right there. They get the Phillies for 2 more games. They're going to get the Cubs. They're going to get the San Diego Padres. They're going to get those Texas Rangers. The 2 easy matchups they have are Washington and then Miami, which are undeniably pretty easy right there. And they finish off their season with Miami Marlins. So if they are like, half a game difference type thing, that's probably going to be very good for them because you got to imagine they can take care of business there. However, the team that they're up against right now and who they're going to be, staring down is the San Francisco Giants. And they have a much easier schedule than them. They get the Rockies, they get the St. Louis Cardinals, they also get the Arizona Diamondbacks. These are not playoff teams right now. However, they do have 7 games against the LA Dodgers. So, I mean, like some competition is harder than others, right? And I would argue that, 7 games against the LA Dodgers. Yeah. That is very tough. I know that they're division rivals, so maybe that helps them a little bit because, who knows what can happen with divisional rivals right there. But still, I mean, 7 games against LA is 7 games against LA.
And they're getting hot right now, so maybe they catch them at the right time. You never know. And then I guess the one good saving grace for the New York Mets right now is they do have the tiebreaker over the San Francisco Giants. They've taken 4-2 this season against them, so that will help them if the case there's any tie. So really, they're 3 games ahead of the San Francisco Giants. But they can't afford to let it slip anymore. Their manager, the New York Mets manager, is not really worried about this. And I mean, you got to be able to keep yourself even keel because you are going through a tough stretch right now, and you got to be able to hang on. What are your thoughts? Like, if you had to predict right now, do you think the New York Mets are going to hang on to this wild card spot?
Man, it really It worries me that their offense has been playing so good and they're still losing ball games. Like, that to me is the scary thing, right? Because let's do some quick math here, everybody. They have them up by 2 games right now, but technically it's 3 games. So let's just say, for instance, that the New York Mets go 9-9. Okay, for the remainder, because there's 18 games left. They go 9-9 right here. Well, that means that San Francisco has to go 12 and what is that math? 12 and 6, right? Which is doable, but it's tough.
But it's very tough.
It is doable, but it's also tough. So you put the pressure on. So really, the question is, do we think that the New York Mets can go 500 or slightly above 500, because if they can go slightly above 500, they're almost assuredly going to be in there right now. The thing is, they haven't been going 500 or slightly above 500 recently. Now, Fangraphs has their odds to make the playoffs at 87.8% chance. It does feel like they're very much still in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
They got to be favorited right now. Like you said, they got them by about 3 games. However, they got to pick up their socks, dude, because San Francisco, their odds are increasing. Still minimal here, but it's at 7.9% right now, whereas, a week ago it was at effectively 0.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it'll be a fun little stretch down at the end. I do think that they should be able to hang on, because when you put it that way, it's like, yeah, Giants got to play almost like the best baseball in all of baseball.
Giants
to go
have
and make,
to play.
well,
here's the thing. So
postseason.
Giants, correct me if I'm wrong, Giants are 7-3 in their last 10,
Yeah.
and then the Mets are what, 3-7?
3-7. Yeah.
So if that continues,
Yeah.
then Mets drop.
Yeah.
Right, the Mets are
Yeah,
out,
that's
and
exactly
San
it.
Francisco. But it's if they can right the ship right there. So if what we've seen over the last 10 days continue, you're going to see San Francisco in the postseason. I feel like New York, their offense isn't going to let them do this. However, it's also the Mets, and
Yeah.
the Mets have meted before in the past.
They have, and they're gonna need to rely on that bullpen because, man, like postseason, even if they make postseason, like if I'm a Mets fan, like
Doesn't
ask
feel
yourself,
good.
do you feel good? No, I don't feel good. Yeah, McLean's been like awesome and everything, but like these are 3 rookies that are like spearheading this rotation. Now I know not all of them are gonna be in the postseason, but still a little scary when you have a lot of guys in 60-day IL and no one coming back anytime soon.
But you guys let us know in the comments down below. Where are you thinking the New York Mets are going to finish this season? Are they going to be able to hold on? Please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button. We will catch you next time.
Cheers.